Guys,
New notification.
in this video I'm going to talk about my political stance on what I perceive to be something that needs to be talked about. And yes, I'm going to come right out and just say it. I support Palestine. There. I said it. I just support Palestine, and I just don't fucking like those Israelite fuckwits. I don't like them. They stole the vast majority of Palestinian land from them. Why? Because of dumbass Moses. That stupid fuckwit Moses should have just stayed in Egypt and fucking just get got by those Egyptian authorities of the time, those Egyptian kings and Egyptian military generals and Egyptian law enforcement of the time for the crime of killing a king's son and was on the run. To be honest, those Israelites need to go back to Egypt to go work in the fields and work in the deserts as a way to pay back the debts to both Egypt and Israel, which Israel was Palestinian territory in the very beginning. In the very beginning, the Palestinians and those Egyptian exiled were going to war, and then bam! A small part of Palestine was interlinked with Canaan. And then the Hebrew culture started spreading. Filthy Israelite vermin took all of Canaan and almost all of Palestinian territory and renamed it Israel. Palestine, Canaan, and adjacent territory was not theirs to take. It was not those Hebrew people's right to take land that did not belong to them. They had no right taking all of Canaan and the vast majority of Palestine at all. They had no right doing so. Moses had no right opening his mouth and no right at all to bring those filthy ones out of Egypt. They were enslaved in Egypt for a reason. They went into Egypt, tried to take over, only to have their criminal rebellion squashed and being enslaved by the Egyptian royal dynasties all over Egypt. I don't know how many dynasties in Egypt there were, but I'm pretty sure there was a great big handful of them that ran parts, big massive chunks of Egypt. And the smaller dynasties were the ones that were running smaller kingdoms in Egypt that had those dreaded Hebrew slaves. Those dreaded Hebrew slaves being punished for their treason and transgressions and starting to go and try to wage war on the Egyptian government of the time. And Moses just had to open his mouth. Once an exiled man tries to come back to Egypt to break criminals out from being enslaved as a way to pay back their generational debts to the dynastic rulers of every part of Egypt. By extension, paying back their dynastic debts to the Egyptian government for trying to overthrow them. All on their own. And Palestine, they have a right to want their land back. And once that's done, once they take back their native land from those Israelite assholes, soon Palestine's own neighbors, the Canaans or the Canaanites, would come back. And that would be the end of Israel's reign of terror. The end. No one should be forced to give up their land to a bunch of Hebrew exiles. Palestinians lost so much territory over the course of what, like 1,200 years? And then all of Canaan was wiped off the map. Why do you think there ain't no Canaanite women in this day and age? Because Canaan, what was whitewashed out of the gene pool of history by overbreeding the Hebrews with the Canaanite women, and the Canaanite men being whitewashed and breaded out of existence. It pisses me off. And let's not forget the religious bullshit that they pulled. Oh, well, Yahweh, a lesser Canaanite god, decided to fuck with his own family and fuck with humanity, and by extension, illegally sneaking his way through the back door of Egypt and fucking up the Egyptian system back then. Like, that kind of pisses me off. Like, how are you gonna go and just say, oh, well, why don't we just have like this whole thing about, oh, why don't we just have Israel become a thing? A slap in the face to a Babylonian goddess Isis, and a slap in the face of Egypt having Ra, the sun god, being put with El, the Most High, of the what is essentially the Canaanite equivalent to the Titan generation of gods of Canaan. And yet the Olympian what is considered the Canaanite equivalent to the Olympian generation of gods happen to rise. And all through Canaan, Yahweh, a Zeus knockoff, started bumping off cults of his own siblings. And banished Abaddon to Sheol, which was also a lie, because Abaddon was already in Sheol, the Canaanite underworld, and was the son of Mot. And guess what? The whole thing with Lilith and Satan, that wasn't Satan. That was Mot having his great cousin Lilith as a wife. And Abaddon was born in Sheol. And then once the what is considered to be the Canaanite version of the second generation Olympians, which was Satan, Jesus, Yeshua, Muhammad, and Samson. Yes, Samson, the Canaanite knockoff off of Heracles, Jesus, a Canaanite knockoff off of me, and a few other Greek gods. And Muhammad, a Canaanite knockoff off of Ares. Yeshua, the Canaanite knockoff off of Hermes. And yes, Mary was the Canaanite knockoff off of my mother, but damn, that was bullshit. And the mother of Samson is the Canaanite knockoff off of Alcmene, the mother of Heracles. And yet Astarte is the Canaanite knockoff off of Hera. Basically, Israel just fucking ripped off my fucking culture, my fucking religion, among other things. And Satan was only born around the, like a good 400 years before Jesus, and was cast down into Sheol. Baphomet was cast down to Sheol. But yet, here's the thing. Lucifer, Baphomet, and Satan are not the same being. Lucifer was the Canaanite knockoff off of Apollo, while Michael was the Canaanite knockoff off of Ares in the divine aspect. And Gabriel was a Canaanite knockoff off of Hermes in the divine sense, which was bullshit. And those Hebrew Israelites wound up going through Scandinavia, and guess what? They stole the Nordic goddess of the underworld's name. Stole her name to make hell that we know now. Hell was a cold and dreary, shadowy underworld run by Loki's daughter. And the Leviathan was just actually Jormungandr. But that's not the point of this video. The point is that I support Palestine. I feel bad for them. Hamas was a justified response to Israel's cruelty and criminal behavior. Criminal behavior of Israel, acting like that they deserve the land that they live on, and think that they can just blackmail America to stay loyal to them. There's so many American superstars here that there's like way more people backing Palestine than there are those who back Israel here in America, in the West. Israel's not well liked, nor does it deserve to be well liked for what they've done to Palestinians and the Canaans. Once Israel falls, bam, Canaan comes back. Palestine gets what medium size or medium amount of territory that they lost back. Thusly, the fall of Israel is inevitable. It's coming. Their downfall is coming. Once America and the world stops backing Israel, Israel will lose so much political ground that when war happens, and I guarantee you, when a local war happens in Israel, and once Israel finds out that nobody's coming to help them, that Hamas, a Palestinian militarized group that is the Palestinian Special Forces, pushes through Israel, bam! Once the Palestinians take back their territory, bam! There will be a time when the descendants of those who are Canaanites or Canaans finally rise up to wipe out their oppressors, wiping out the Hebrew Israelite oppressors once and for all, taking back their land. And it will happen during World War IV or World War V. And no one should ever go to help Israel. No one should go to help those Hebrew Israelites. They were the oppressive class. They were hateful, warmongering, genocidal dictators that also try to take over Babylon, make Babylon fall. But guess what? still around. And guess what? Once Babylon finally catches on, BAM! The Babylonian pantheon will come back and rule over Babylon once more. And guess what? That tower up to the Babylonian heavens, Marduk would be able to finally be able to interact with his people, with his followers in Babylon. Which means once Israel falls, BAM! Their influence over the world will wane. Thusly, BAM! A lot of those who are to have pretty much been oppressed by those Hebrew Israelite assholes. And if there's anyone who is from Palestine, much love to you guys. I back you Palestinians. I support Israel's very own enemies. You guessed it, I support Palestine. Oh yeah, I support Palestine, alright. I ain't never backed Israel. When I heard about Israel, I was not impressed. Shit. I was less impressed by their very representation and mention in the NCIS TV show. I was not impressed. I was not impressed. So yeah, I back Palestine. I back them. I support Palestine. Yep, you heard it here. I support Palestine. 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 I feel bad because they lost the vast majority of their land to those Hebrew Israelite vermin. They should take their territory back. And once they do, BAM! Israel's grip, violent, abusive, evil, hateful, oppressive, tyrannical, dictating grip will be loosened off of the rest of the world. They lose all backing from the vast majority of the world. Once that happens, BAM! The world will be set right. I just wanted to get this off my chest.